Let's cut the open cup.
Hello, and welcome to the Open Cup podcast. I'm Corey. I'm here with Craig.
Hey.
Today we're doing something a little bit different. We have been working on installing our new roaster, and it is officially functioning.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, so we are, instead of reviewing one local coffee from some cool cat in the neighborhood, we are comparing the same coffee roasted on our old machine versus our new one.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're really similar and we love it.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out in a minute. It's a Nicaraguan coffee, one that we use primarily, I guess, for making our cold brew. And thought we'd start roasting that one to kind of break the roaster in, so that I feel like that method of brewing might be a little more forgiving for a slightly, newbie roast. So we shall see. It turned out really well. I was pretty happy with the way that it looked and the way it roasted. And I was happy that the machine didn't stop working while I was roasting it. So that's a good sign. So this is really the first roast after the seasoning roasts.
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
consumable roast.
Well, we'll see if it's consumable right now. So we have two samples.
We have two samples.
Number 1 and number 2. I don't know which is which. Corey knows which is which. Hopefully neither one of them are terrible.
So far they both smell good.
But different a little bit.
Yeah, there are definitely some contributing factors to that.
Yes, not the least of which
We
is
know that one was roasted yesterday and another was roasted about a month
4
ago.
years ago. Yeah. And so I guess hopefully the one that was roasted yesterday is the one that we choose that is fantastic.
Yeah.
So one is probably a little too new to cup, and one's probably a little too old to cup. Well, that's okay. It's educational.
Yeah, I mean, there are differences, but I think as far as, like, the aromas, they're pretty tight.
Yeah, this is a nice coffee generally. It's worked out really well for the cold brew, I think. A lot of people think. Cool, I'm going to grab some hot water over here at the hot water tower.
Yeah, I mean, right out of the gate... Oh, God, this is actually hard because they're really similar. It's hard to... Which I guess that's what we want. We want them to be similar.
Exactly.
I'm also repeatedly sniffing them back and forth as if that's going to help my senses and not completely overwhelm them.
Well, we'll see.
I think our number 2 sample is a little sweeter and a little almost juicier, but I'm getting, well, maybe not. They're both very, nutty and almost bready in a nice way, like a fresh baked bread with a good crust.
Fair. I feel like number 1 is a little sharper in the nose. Oh, good. And also my stopwatch has been running for the last 92 hours because that's probably the last time we did a podcast. So I'm going to stop and clear that.
Cool.
And I'm going to start the 4-minute timer now and pour some
Great.
water on my samples here.
Let's see them open up real quick now.
Yep.
I forgot to flex my funny bone this morning. It's a little early.
Yeah, I know. What the heck? There's going to be no humor in this.
Usually I've already consumed a pot of coffee before I start recording, and I haven't consumed any.
That's okay.
I did have half of a pancake. My daughter's reject pancake.
I have made pancakes for dinner for the last 2 days in a row.
Nice. We did that last night. It's Nora's favorite thing.
It's becoming my favorite thing. Yeah, we got a nice bag of Bob's Red Mill. Looking for sponsorship from Bob's Red Mill.
So if you're listening, Bob.
Yeah,
Or
Bob,
the
I
Red
love your
Mill.
products.
Well, it certainly smells good.
It does, and it certainly smells somewhat similar. Although,
Yeah, absolutely.
to be fair, I think I know which one's which now due to the just the way it's acting with the water on it. Although maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, actually, I feel like they're super similar.
They're really similar, yeah. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I
I have insight that I don't want to reveal necessarily, but maybe I should.
Maybe you should. It's an open cup. It's
It
not
is the
this.
open
It's
cup.
not
Okay.
the secret freaking cup.
So, number 1 is the newly roasted.
That was my
Nicaraguan,
guess.
And number 2 is the older one.
Yeah.
So, we found that the new roaster, if you while dropping the coffee at the same temperature, it visually looked darker.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that the coffees were roasted to the same temperature and I think took similar amounts of time to roast,
Yeah.
the new roaster I think brought it darker still. So I think
And you can
that's
see
something
that.
we'll have to sort of dial in, is that our light, medium, and dark roasts may all have to come down and drop
Yeah.
temperatures.
Because you can tell by looking at yours, you have better light over
And
there.
They
Yours is darker.
smell really, really similar, but one, or the number two, the older one, smells like it was roasted a little lighter.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's just a little brighter, a little sharper.
I've got the light above me is not functioning, but you can. It's very clear in yours.
Yeah.
This is where we need that Agtron, that color analyzer. I guess Christmas is coming up. I'll ask someone for it.
But by and large, I mean, they both have really similar profiles. Like, I'm getting, like, the Dutch cocoa cookie. I'm getting a little, cinnamon and nut. It's sweet, like, maybe a honey. I get a little lemon.
honey roasted honey nut Cheerios.
Yeah.
Yeah, reasonable though.
Yeah, they both smell awesome.
Yeah, I don't hate them, so that's good. Yeah, you're right though. For sure, the one I did yesterday definitely looks like significantly darker.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
Sure is fun to learn.
it is fun to learn. It sure is expensive to learn on a roaster that the minimum batch size is like 30 pounds. But that'll be good. It'll be good to get that dialed in. And
Well, we were wise to dial it in on such a forgiving coffee.
for sure.
And it's great to know that despite it looking a little darker, it smells virtually the same.
And hopefully will taste somewhat the same. Yes, my goal is that my super fresh coffee tastes like a month-old coffee. Well, it's 4 minutes now, so I'm going to go ahead and break my crust on number one and see what I got.
I'm really excited about this.
Definitely, to me, still some similarities.
It's a coffee you can trust. I feel like it's really not changed incredibly from start to finish.
That's what we should put on our bags.
A coffee you can trust.
Yeah, for sure.
A coffee you can rely on.
It does. I feel like I'm still getting a little more sharpness in the nose on the new one. It might just be super fresh.
Yeah, I definitely think the freshness is a contributor to that. I feel like if we had waited until tomorrow to do it, it would be even closer to what we're hoping for. But even still, that said, I mean, for our old one being almost, or about a month,
Yeah.
it's like just about a month old, it still smells really good.
Maybe today you can roast a batch of this in the
Yeah, absolutely.
IR12.
Cup it later in the week, and
Yeah, just before I go to whole hog on the, just so we can dial this in a little bit better.
yeah, absolutely.
It's clearly fresh AF with all the
Floaties.
floaties. It's fresh to death. Wow, yeah. Well, kids, this is how you tell how fresh coffee is. A lot of stuff, a lot of material still floating in the cup. I also feel like darker roasts for some reason float more.
Yeah, well, they tend to be so much, lighter and drier and oilier. Whoop, I just made a mess.
Yeah, that's all right.
So I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. Wow.
Oil and water and all that.
Yeah. 'Tis the season for oil and water, isn't it, with Halloween coming up?
Is that
Yeah.
is that your Halloween costume this year?
Yeah, oil and water. So actually, if you could pull that off, that would be stupid.
If
Sorry.
you could pull that off, that would be stupid.
Yeah,
Don't do that for
Yeah.
Halloween.
that's a terrible suggestion.
All right,
Wow.
well, this is going to be chewy.
It's gonna be real chewy. I think I'm gonna.
Should we get the fish tank cleaner?
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Freshen it up my cup.
Yeah,
Your rinse cup.
not a bad idea. This is where we need to slurp through. Like a French press
Yeah.
screen.
Slurp screen coming to your next coffee cupping.
Slurp screen.
Slurp screen.
The dental dam of coffee drinks.
Oh, we haven't insulted Kevin yet.
No,
Do you have anything bad to say about Kevin today?
You know, not really, but it is early.
There's still time.
There's still time. Okay.
We were supposed to cup one of Kevin's coffees next, but
They keep getting bumped.
we keep pushing him back farther and farther.
I know, we really got to do that. Like this week for sure. This way it's ensured that every coffee we cup is at least a month old.
It's the sweet spot, right?
It could be. Oh, okay. Well, fresh one definitely tastes darker.
Again, not enormously different, just
No.
darker.
Yeah. Probably still totally usable for the cold brew.
I would agree with that.
Especially
but
if
it would
we
be
blend it with some of
noticeable
the
if it
other
was
shit.
single origin. So
Yeah, it would.
glad we're
Yep.
doing our homework here.
Yeah, so I think I'll probably look at a few degrees lighter, which totally makes sense. But I think it'd just be so nice to be able to actually get a actual number, like an Agtron number.
Yeah, I feel like I'd probably go 438 and see what that's like.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'll do one of those today if I get a chance. I have so much weird stuff going on today.
Yeah, totally.
But,
Maybe we can make our goal to roast a batch on each roaster today, so
Yes.
that we can cup them when they're the same level of freshness
Yes, that's a good
with
idea.
our adjustments.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And we won't record that cupping, but we will
No.
review it.
We'll
on
reveal
one of
the
future podcast
reveal the
episode.
results at some point. Yeah,
All in all, I think the coffees taste remarkably similar.
yeah, I think close enough.
Albeit one lighter than the other.
Yeah, I can live with that. And as it cools, the fresher one is actually, I feel like it's improving a little bit.
Yeah.
So I can live with that.
Very walnutty.
Yeah,
Like it's tanniny and dry and good. I mean, it's woody, nutty. It's what you want a coffee to taste like.
as my kids would say in the early 2000s, man, I feel like a walnut.
I feel like a walnut.
Shout out to Shania. Okay, well, that was good. Probably shouldn't bore people with the details of this. This is likely to be the least interesting podcast that we've ever made.
Yeah,
But
I can agree with that.
we should put a disclaimer at the beginning, like basically just don't listen to this.
We weren't very funny, and we didn't have much fun.
No,
That's
but
not true. I had fun.
but science was achieved.
Yes, science was achieved.
Yeah, great.
Well, anyway, thanks for listening. Still working on that outro stinger. Mm-hmm. So, yep.
Yep, party on.
Bye.
Bye.